Hi, it's KaguraFireCosplay here for part 3 of my April reading log. Judging how long the last one was, this singular book might end up being split into 2 parts, but we'll see. The book in question is Gail, Carson, Levine's Writing Magic Creating Stories That Fly. So, Gill, Carson, Levine is the author of such books like Elle Enchanted and a ton of other incredible ones, Day by Night, to mention a few. But incredible author, and this is just learning how to write. I received this as a gift years ago and went through it then, but I have a completely different perspective now on being much more of a writer now. But I read this April 27th to May 1st. I'll go through just my little bullet points of what I went through, and then I have pages and pages of writing prompts that I did that I will read to you. And again, it's quite a bit, so this might be a 2-parter just to get through writing prompts. But if that's not your thing, then that just means you can skip the next video. But until then, let's get into it. So, I mean, she's an incredible author to begin with. Again, I mean, Elle Enchanted is a classic. It's iconic. But she talks about insecurity in your own personal art, how authors and any type of artist, which I can say for myself too, with also being a cosplayer, you definitely take your work a lot harsher than other people do. I think that's partly is a little bit healthy in terms of always wanting to improve, but also can be self-sabotaging to not fully appreciate what you have done. And then she talked about how beginnings in your story will always change, which for the few people who have seen my story through a few different stages, you know that's true. I've completely scrapped a lot of things. I've rearranged it for ever. She talks about the importance of small details, which I definitely struggle with, but I will get better at, hopefully. And then the key thing of note that I've took that some of you might be incredibly mad about is make your characters suffer. All characters should suffer for the sake of plot, because how can you have a happy ending if they don't go through something, right? So, look, Gail, Carson, Levine said it. Leave me be if I make my characters suffer. But, yeah. How perfection doesn't matter. Doesn't necessarily need to be perfect, because as long as you have an impact on someone, that's what matters. Don't sacrifice the story for adding a bunch of pretty words. Now, I do think that depends on the story you write, because I generally, not necessarily talking like this, but when I write, I do have maybe a little bit more of fluffy, old Englishy type of writing, but that's just me though, but I don't feel like that impacts the story. And then write for yourself. Write what you want to see, what you want to read. Because why else would you write? Well, that's my bullet points. Now let's get to destroying my voice. Okay. Let me take some tea. So, writing time, write a story about a main character who finds a diamond necklace on the sea of his... Wait, no, that's not the first one. Okay, yeah, where am I? I'm missing the first prompt. Oh, the entire first page is writing prompt. Right, okay. So this is write for 20 minutes of a prompt. And I chose the ghost was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich purely because I already have some ideas for a ghosty type story in my brain, so I kind of got to work with that idea a bit more. But here's what 20 minutes got me. The ghost was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich right in front of me. I blinked a few times, sure that was a trick of the light. I set the eggs I just cooked, wondering if they had gone bad or something. All ideas rushed out of me. Once the preteen girl spoke, could ghosts even have an age? What are you doing in my house? I swear to God, I'll call the cops on you. She stood up with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich still clutched in her hand. You must be mistaken, I stuttered to get the rest out. This is my home. I purchased it myself during the 2008 recession. Perhaps you're on the wrong street, girl. I was still taken aback of how she looked. Clearly, but there was a bright bluish tint to her skin, unlike anything on this planet. That can't be so. I've lived here with my father my entire life. See that scratch on the cabinet? That's from when I ran my skateboard into it. She pointed out to the significant scratch. No, that's from when I burned myself on the stove and dropped the knife I was holding. Miss, why is your skin like that? I glanced down to see nothing but my copper-toned skin. Like what? We stumbled much more cautious of each other, but there wasn't anything intimidating about either of us. Why is it blue? Almost like you're a ghost. Is this all one big joke? Did one of the neighborhood kids put you up to this? I swear to God. No, not at all. You're just the one. You're the one with the blue skin in my eyes. This is quite odd. How about you tell me who you are? Maybe we can get to the bottom of this. Why should I trust you? She spoke gruffly. Well, we don't have many options. I'm a lawyer, if that makes you feel any better. What type? A public defender? I'm sorry for your loss, she laughed. It's incredibly rewarding. It's just poor work conditions. My father had one. Only ever saw him once. It's certainly demanding. My name is Liliana, and you? Trixie Rogers. We shook hands, sealing our joint partnership to figure out this bizarre mystery. So why do you think the neighborhood kids put you up to this? From what I've known, there aren't any kids around here. Except for unless if you count the newborn next door, in which the only bullying she's capable of is to my eardrums. No. What about Mia and Julian? They're on the streets. You must know them. I'm afraid I don't. Girl, I'm sorry to hear that though, truly. I get it. And that was what 20 minutes got me. I'm sorry for reading. I can't read to save my life, so I apologize for your eardrums. Okay, the next prompt is the one I mentioned previously of writing a story about main character who finds a diamond necklace on the school bus. Which, okay. This definitely wasn't supposed to be here. I'm not sure where it would come from, but this certainly needed to be returned. Can't lie, I don't know anything about jewelry, but it was clearly not plastic. This gorgeous sapphire necklace sparkled as I held it up to the window. It very subtly catch the light, almost as if it was glowing. I get up to take it to the bus driver. Excuse me, I think someone lost this. I held up the necklace. I don't think anyone is gonna miss a muddy rock on a piece of yarn. Go sit back down. He had to be mistaken. This was farthest thing from a muddy rock. I went up to the other kids and I got the same reaction each time. There is something off about this gem. And that was journal 2. Journal 3 is think about a boy and girl you know, picture them as adults and are forced to marry each other. I suppose we're supposed to ask one another how her day was. She spoke as she cut her steak into small pieces. That would require us to care about each other, wouldn't it? Look, 4 more years of our contract is up. You'll have that job and I'll have my inheritance. Just give it time. We have to keep up the performance up though. I heard Cindy talking in the break room. People are onto us. We need to take it up a notch. Oh, what do you suggest? Let's prove it. Make it to where they can't think of anything else. Obviously nothing will truly happen, but they won't know. So how about it? There was a glimmer in her eyes. Okay, you have a deal. Want to make another contract? I think we already have too many of those, don't you think? We shook hands, which is the first contract we had made since our wedding. Okay, that was a terrible reading for me, but yeah. Okay. And then write down 12 story ideas. Don't expect them to all be good. And I guess that's what I did. Now I have like a billion novella ideas for my main storyline, which some of you have heard too much about. But Tara and Corinne, Jacob and Clarissa, Lucille, Timothy and Jonathan, Tyre, Silver, Julia, Teresa, Travell, the Queen. Got so many ideas. Parallel Ghost World, which is the first one I did, the short stories did. School fake relationship, which I referred. School friends, drama relationship. College mine experience, higher mysteries. Bunch of others. I think that covers the 10 though. Journal prompt 5. My laptop keeps falling asleep, which has my stopwatch on it, so let me get that back up. Okay. Begin a story at 3 different points and pick what you like the best. So I started. I was terrified as I went into my prejudging. I know how hard I've worked, but my work is incredible. As I gauged around the room, I felt insecure again. Everyone looked phenomenal. They're better than I'll ever be. The second one. You mean there's a competition for sewing? I asked with adrenaline rushing through my veins. That's amazing. I better start preparing right away. I have a lot of work to do. The third one I did. This was certainly harder than I thought as I gazed at the piles of fabric and foam around me. I had already burned myself 3 times and stepped on a sewing needle. This was going to be a long process. And then journal prompt 6. Use the point of view of a young puppy or kitten who is somehow able to think of English. It's cold. That's the first thing I feel. The heavy rain soaked through my fur, only allowing for the wet feeling that leads to cold. The rain pulled the I'm sorry. Let me get some tea. I'm struggling. The rainfall had the constant patter, just quickly and deep. Every few minutes, there were dark rumbles of the clouds, giving to the crucial warning. The clouds were so dark it felt like night despite being midday. The air tasted salty from the rain. My favorite part was the smell. It too smelled salty, but more like the beach. The salty water mixed with the sandy dirt is a very distinct smell I love. I'm sorry, that's probably the worst reading I've done. Well. Okay. The next prompt is your main characters participating in a scientific investigation of a magical object. Okay. I took the hearing aid off the table and slid it into my ear. At first, I couldn't hear anything. That didn't last though. Soon enough, sounds flooded my senses. My head felt like it was going to explode. I slowed my breathing and tried to focus on the beeping of the machine next to me. Can you tell us what you're hearing right now? Everything. I can hear the most simple things, like a baby crying to the president speaking on confidential matters. It's hard to distinguish it all though, almost like there's a constant layer of static. Check the location of where Emer's performing right now. In Tokyo, I hear it. She sounds gorgeous. I feel my ears getting irritated. I need to take them out. It's certainly the most sensory overload experience I've ever had. Then prompt 8. You pick a prompt. I choose Ken's met his mother and he's running away from home. This was a mistake. Sure, I was mad, but I don't know where I even am now. I stumbled down the side of the road. Each step I took, I didn't know if it was closer or farther from home. But I was walking in a field of trees. They didn't scare me before I heard a faint growl. It sent shivers down my spine. I didn't want to turn my head, but I knew that I had to. I slowly turned to see a large coyote with his teeth piercing out from behind his wide smile. I quickly took a few steps back before starting to fully run. I kept my eyes closed. I could hear him chasing me. Again, Ken, I heard as a police officer quickly opened the passenger door. I ran in and closed as quickly as possible. What's your name? I gave him my name. I was thinking to see as we drove away. Your mother put in a missing person report. She's really worried. Look you right this minute. I'm glad I found you when I did. I'm sorry was all I said as we drove home. I think I can get one more in. Then, yeah, this will be a part 2. Trial prep 9 is taking an observation of a stranger and then making a fake persona based off of those observations. So I put fashionable sweater, neat clean hairstyle and updo, white sneakers that are perfectly clean. And I put name as Catherine, nickname Cat, kind of being as confident, age 18, appearance trendy, occupation student, family members, 2 sisters, parent, pets, a turtle, best friend, Jolene, a room, nude pastels with mainly blue and purple, way of speaking soft, posture confident, items, a backpack, laptop, water bottle, hobbies, music, favorite sport, volleyball, talents, coding, relationships, single, fear of the dark, faults, too kind, good points, confidence and likability, devices, too successful, desires to be successful as a coder. I think I can actually squeeze one more in. Let's go. That's the suffering chapter. Oh, wow. You're current. Oh, God. Yeah, I remember this prompt. Okay. Whew. Prompt 10. Actually, I think it's chapter 10. So this is taking the Red Riding Hood of one of the 2 versions, either The one where the hunter kills the wolf and slits the wolf's throat open, or the one where Little Red Riding Hood just gets eaten and dies. And Gill Carson Levine suggested to do that one, so I did. This was the end, I thought, as I saw the thick, sharp teeth open up. There was no color with his mouth. In his eyes, I could see excitement to eat me. I tried looking for an escape, anything to help me do so. I spotted a frying pan hanging from the wall next to me. As he reached out for it, he clean bit off my arm. The pain of his teeth sinking into it was worse than I could ever describe. I let out a small scream, only to be silenced as he took the rest of me. Then I was gone. Is that what I put? Yeah, that's what I put. Okay, and that's where I'm going to end off doing the rest of the prompts next time. So until then, bye.